the amount of edge that I was able to cut back with this Lane Shark. Super cool, amazing. And hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mike. You're watching Triple T Acres, and in today's video, we've got the Lane Shark hooked up to the tractor. Now, we are going to be mowing around my pond today, and it should work really, really well. Now, if you're not familiar with the Lane Shark, what's really unique about this setup is it is a low-flow hydraulic rotary cutter that I've got mounted on the front of my tractor. Now, most of the time, compact tractors cannot create enough gallons per minute to flow, let's say, a skid steer rotary cutter on the front of the tractor. But Lane Shark has created this awesome machine that will allow the hydraulic flow to work. But what else is really unique about this mower is not only can it go in this position, but it can go offset, which is what we're going to be doing today. But even better, it can go up in 90 degrees and cut back fence rows. But we're not gonna be getting into that today. Today, we're gonna be mowing mainly just the edge of my pond. I'm not gonna be able to get all the way around it. I've got my bush hog on the back, but it is going to be able to help me cut some of that I can't reach, that I can't get so close to the edge. And this should do a really good job on certain sections of my pond. So without further ado, let's get out there. Let's get this thing put to work. And I hope you enjoy the video. Now, before we get out there and start mowing, I want to give you a quick walk around how this thing connects to the tractor and kind of how it works before we get going. But as you can see here, it is basically a regular rotary cutter. It's got some swinging blades on underneath here, double-sided blades. So if this side gets dull, you can flip it over and still continue to cut before you have to sharpen them. Spins around, and if it hangs up on something hard, that's a swinging blade that goes right around it. Right here is the low-flow hydraulic motor that runs that. It needs 5 to 8.5 gallons per minute. My tractor runs about 8 gallons per minute. Now, what's really important is you cannot just connect this to a skid steer. Skid steers actually have too high a flow for this. And if your tractor has higher than 8 gallons a minute, they do have another motor that you can get to be able to run it, but you still cannot put it on skid steer. Now, speaking of skid steer, this is skid steer connections, but another nice thing that Lane Shark has done has got the John Deere connections here as well. So if you've got a John Deere, you can work with it just as well. But what's really important about this setup in order to run it is you're gonna need third function hydraulics. Now, Lane Shark has partnered with WR Long, and they sell a special kit that connects to this system. Now, as you can see, I got a pressure side and a return side here. Lane Shark has another return that allows less friction where it doesn't have to pass through that valve again to return the hydraulic flow. Now, these things are running continuous hydraulic flow. That's what has to run this motor up here. Where normally when you run a grapple, it's intermittent. You press a button, you release it. And I'll show you up here on my handle. This is the button that would open and close my grapple. And then on the inside here, I have a button that will actually hold that continuous flow. Down here is the actual WR Long kit. It has that return hose that goes through and goes directly to my sump instead of running through that valve, creating that extra friction. But that is a quick rundown of that system. Go check out some of my other videos. I go into a lot of depth on how this thing connects. But now we're gonna get it into the offset position and get out there and start mowing. There it is, the offset position. Now you get an idea of what I'm talking about. It is clear on the outside of my tires. I should be able to ride it just along the edge and cut some of that vegetation back. So let's get out there and start cutting. All right, we're gonna start on this little edge here. And like I said before, I can't mow the entire edge of my bank just because of some of the steep inclines and some really soft edges, but I can get quite a bit. And anytime I can make an excuse to use this Lane Shark, I will. This sure beats running a weed eater, that's for sure. automatically lock it in 4-wheel drive, and I'll keep my gears nice and low because anytime you're working near water, you got to be extra careful. But man, that is sweet. I think I can make one little more pass. I just got to be careful. But that's the nice thing. This thing kind of offsets. That way I don't have to get my tires so daggone close. Keep it nice and slow. This sure is way more fun than walking around holding a weed eater. Show you this. If I turn the blades off, they don't slam shut. I just press my button. As you can see, the blades slow down with the momentum. They're not slamming against that valve. There's a check valve up on those hydraulic lines that keep that from happening. That check valve opens up and allows that loop to go around. Really, really critically important when you go to install these if you're going to do it yourself. Highly recommend having a dealer install one of these. I've got that mower over the water. I'm able to follow the contour using my loader valve here. All right, let's check the aftermath here. Amazing work here. I keep my cattails here. I like a little bit of habitat. But man, look at the amount of edge that I was able to cut back with this Lane Shark. Super cool, amazing. And as you can see here, this thing hangs over the edge. Got my wheels on the land, Lane Shark hanging over the edge several feet. This thing cuts about 3 foot wide. Couldn't be more impressed. All right, guys, well, that's the Lane Shark in the offset position mowing around my pond. What a super cool, unique piece of equipment. And I can think of several other applications for that position. Around trees, around fence lines, anything like that that's really tight and you can't get your mower in, this thing is really gonna shine in those areas. Guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, watch some of the videos here on the side. I'm always doing something different here on the property. But guys, until next time, we'll see you in the next video.